In today's news, we will hear from Gabrielle Walter, who sat down for an interview with Zach Walls, and Monica Kreppel, who got the inside scoop on Iggy's extended hours. Kristen Warner will be joining us to talk about her recent contribution in Going Bald for Bucks to raise cancer awareness. And later, we will hand it over to John Bassanello in Studio B, who will be sitting down with the newly elected junior senator, John Solak. As always, we will keep you updated on what happened in sports this past week, and we'll let you in on some upcoming events here on campus. This is Channel 19 News. Everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Channel 19 News, your #1 source for news, campus events, and sports happening here at Canisius. I'm Rachel Furschbach. Joining me now is Kristen Warner, who last Wednesday shaved her head for Bald for Bucks. Hi, Kristen.
Hi, Rachel. Thanks for having me.
So, how are you enjoying your new look?
It's taken some getting used to because it's so bright, but I'm enjoying it so far.
Okay, what inspired you to do this, to shave your head?
Well, last year my friend Amy went bald for bucks, and I watched her go through it, and she did it for her mom. And at that time, my grandma just got diagnosed with breast cancer, so I decided, like in that moment, as soon as I found out, I was going to grow out my hair as long as I could and then donate it as soon as possible and raise money.
So what was the reaction from your family and friends?
When my family first found out, they were kind of not okay with it because they watched my grandma go through chemo, and it was just a flashback as to what they had to go through and we had to go through as a family because it was a very traumatic experience. But I let the idea grow on them, and like I gave them a year warning, like in a year I'm going bald for bucks, you better be ready. And eventually, my family's very supportive, so even though they weren't okay with me going completely bald, I was supposed to get a little bit longer, but they're okay with it.
Has your decision to shave your head inspired any of your friends or anybody around you?
Well, during because I'm an RA in Bosch and I have an all-girls floor, and during one of our floor meetings, I just mentioned, hey, I'm going bald for bucks, you guys don't donate any money, and that inspired 2 of my residents to raise money as well and go bald for bucks.
So can you explain to us like the process for Bald for Bucks, like what goes on like with the donating of the money and raising the money for it?
Yeah, around November they send out emails, and anyone who's interested just sign up, and then you don't hear back from it until February, and then you sign up a profile online and you send a link to all your friends, and all they have to do is they can donate money online like through credit card information. But what I did as well, because I know, I'm a college student, I don't have any money to donate, I told all my friends, bring me canned goods or bring me recyclable items, and I'll bring that to Tops, recycle it, and use the money from that to help raise money as well.
Okay. So is this experience what you expected it to be, and would you do it again?
It is what I expected it to be. It's a little bit more, like I thought I would be more emotional about losing my hair because a lot of people were always like, oh, are you going to miss it? And I thought I was, but honestly, it's like the best thing. I don't have to worry about drying my hair in the morning. I just go out, roll out of bed. It's beautiful.
Well, I love your new do.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming and joining us and telling us, sharing your story with us. I think what you're doing is very inspiring for all of us. Next up, we will hear about gay rights activist Zach Walls, but for now, a quick commercial break. Stay tuned.
was one day that we had just done the cardiovascular unit, in class that day. And then right after class, I went over to the Vascular Institute, volunteered, put the scrubs on. And one of the doctors asked me if I wanted to see an open heart surgery. And so I said, yeah, really? Sure.
I came into Canisius as obviously as a freshman, not really sure what I wanted to do. I ended up taking a digital media arts class, and that really just kind of jump-started, my career.
And I think being where we are in the city and in the world with the medical campus that we have here is really an opportunity that I wouldn't have anywhere else.
It's more than just academics. Meet different people, go out and do things. There's so much more to college. It's an experience.
I instantly fell in love with doing video work, graphic design. I started pursuing more and more opportunities in the school, whether it was doing admissions videos on the sides. I did a couple videos for alumni relations, the president of the college, and then I actually got noticed last year, and they sent me over to the Philippines to create a feature-length documentary.
I lived with a host family while I took classes in Spanish with Spanish professors at the University of Oviedo, and I was a Spaniard for a semester, and it was the best decision I made as a college student.
Last week, the highly controversial speaker Zach Walls was finally able to come to Montante Cultural Center and speak to the Canisius body about his message to treat others the way you want to be treated. Gabrielle Walter was able to sit down with Walls for an interview to find out what his story is all about.
Last Tuesday night, Speaker Zach Walls was finally able to come to Canisius after about a year and a half with 2 cancellations and Marielle Klein's drive to bring him here.
A lot of working with administration and compromise. The whole gay marriage thing, like the school, we are a Catholic institution, and so we seek to have a good relationship with the bishop and with the Catholic Church, an academically routed talk rather than like a social activism kind of thing.
Walls began by reading an excerpt from the United States Conference of Roman Catholic Bishops' teaching on marriage. He ended by simply stating,
So there are a couple of, I think, important things whenever we have this conversation that I think have to be kept in mind. The first, and I think one of the most important messages, is that this conversation is about love, it's about family, and so the conversation itself has to reflect that. It has to be a very positive and very respectful conversation.
This began back in 2011, when he decided to speak up about the House Joint Resolution 6 in the Iowa House of Representatives.
So when I finally had the opportunity, when this video went viral, to set the record straight, as it were, about families like mine and about this issue, that was an opportunity that I had to take. This is about whether or not we want to live in the country when government is used to enforce one group of people's beliefs over another.
Zach Walls even shared the most valuable thing he learned from his parents growing up.
The importance of never giving up. And I think the fact that I'm here tonight is a witness to how important that is to me.
He even shared some advice on those looking to speak out about controversial issues.
A lot of people are afraid of public speaking. They get these butterflies in their stomach and they get really, a little edgy, a little nervous. And one of the things that I think is critically important to understand about public speaking is if you ever stand up to say something and you're not a little nervous, do us all a favor and sit down. Because what you're about to say probably isn't worth hearing. Right? The butterflies are not a bad thing. But instead of exterminating the butterflies, we need to be training them to fly in formation, right? From a physiological perspective, fear and excitement are the exact same thing. And so it's really just kind of reframing, the kind of the mental state that you have, and understanding that the very worst that can happen is you'll say something stupid. You have to say, "I'm sorry. Here's what I meant to say," and that's really what the worst that can happen.
And what should students take away from all of this?
I really just hope that students are inspired to kind of get moving and speak out about what they believe in.
And this is really a conversation where you have to treat people the way you want to be treated.
I'm Gabrielle Walter reporting for Channel 19 News.
Thanks, Gabby. Now I'll hand it over to John in Studio B, who is with a newly elected member of the Undergraduate Student Association.
Thanks, Rachel. I'm joined here today by sophomore John Solak, who was recently elected to serve on the Junior Senate of the Undergraduate Student Association. John, great name by the way. It's great to have you here today. Why did you decide to run for Senate this year?
Well, I think for one thing, if you look at the ratio of science majors to liberal arts majors in the Senate, it's astonishing low, given how many science majors we have at Canisius.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's an important part of the student body, especially given the new construction of Science Hall and the direction that the administration is taking us. Another thing is that I see a lot of issues that do affect myself and other science majors. Things like the metro passes.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's like a huge issue that we're having. And it's a big debate, especially when you have commuter students or students that don't use it a lot, and then you have other students that have to use it maybe for their daily commute,
mm-hmm.
and even like myself as an intern, when I want to go downtown and volunteer or whatever, that's one thing that has been vital to me so far.
And I know I actually just used my Metro Pass to go on a field trip for a history class, so it's definitely an important thing.
Yeah, right. And I'd like to be able to at least voice that, mm-hmm. and I think that those who are in science and accounting as well need interaction with places outside the institution when they apply for graduate schools, whether mm-hmm. it's medical or business school. And last of all, this marketing campaign. I want to make sure that it gets developed the right way that I think it should, because my sister got one of the new shirts
mm-hmm.
with the campaign that has the letters backwards or flipped or whatever.
Yep.
And she said, I like the campaign, but I'll never wear this shirt in public because people are going to think I'm weird.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to get my voice out and get my opinion on stuff like
mm-hmm.
that.
What things do you think you as a person bring to the Senate?
Well, I'm an Army ROTC cadet.
Yep.
And I think that's one thing where a lot of the focus of that program is really delegating your command and control. You have a very designated hierarchy of the way that powers are given off to different people in order to get things done mm-hmm. Effectively. And I'd like to be able to use that skill in Senate in order to try and facilitate good interaction between the committees and between the Senate as a whole. And so I think that's one thing. And also, being a science major in pre-med, I'd like to bring that voice to the
mm-hmm.
Senate, because, like I said before, one thing that medical schools love to see is volunteer experience
yep.
and research experience. And I think it would be almost controversial for us to cut out the metro passes and also say go exploring for our campaign.
Definitely.
And so I'd like to bring those experiences together and hopefully be able to get that voice out.
Great. How do you plan on working with other members of the Senate to get things done next year?
Right. I think that what's really important in the Senate, and one thing that we've made progress on so far, or, you know, I say we because, you know, but this is my first year being in Senate, I think is regulating, you know, the amount of time that people are speaking and making sure that we're being efficient in, you know, our process, and making sure that we have you know, the right time to get things done, and to maybe kind of streamline the process. This way, you know, the Senate isn't there till 10 o'clock at night, which, you know, I've heard that's been happening, or 9 o'clock, or what have you. And so I think that's what I'd like to see, and that's what I'm going to try and do in the Senate.
And finally, you seem like a very busy guy, and I think everybody wants to know is, like you said, you're a member of the ROTC. I think you're a intern at Roswell Park.
Right.
You're a bio major.
Yeah.
I don't touch this, so it's too hard. And what else? And now with Senate and academics, how do you find time to manage and juggle all those things?
Right. I don't even, you know, have a great answer myself. You know, I mean, my hair is about to turn gray, I think, eventually, sometime soon. But I think it always, with any student, it's just time management. And, you know, that's really what's helped me the most, and, you know, been able to bring me to Senate and allowed me to do so many things that I've done here.
Great. Well, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to speak with us here today. And I look forward to your contributions next year. And you can contact USA through the Facebook or Twitter page, or just stop by the club room on the lower level of the Student Center near CPLD in room SC010. Back to you, Rachel.
Thanks, John. Iggy's began their extended hours a few weeks ago to offer students a late night option from Thursday through Saturday until 1:30 a.m. Channel 19 reporter Monica Kreppel has more on these special extended hours.
Okay, Ken, we're here at Iggy's restaurant on campus, Canisius College.
It's named after St. Ignatius, because anybody who's been here for more than 2 years knows Iggy's as the upper deck.
We're located in the Palisano Pavilion.
That's correct, in between the two dorms. Iggy's got redone 2 years ago. It used to be formerly the upper deck. It was more of a casual atmosphere with couches and chairs. Then we decided to turn it into more of a restaurant style, like an Applebee's or a Bennigan's type of atmosphere. The menu does reflect an Applebee's or TGIF. We're trying to get into more entrees, more dinners. There are quite a few sandwiches, and there's a wide variety. We run a lot of limited time offers we call LTOs, and if they do well as an LTO, we put it on the menu. The late night hours we started 2 weeks ago as a trial basis to see if it's something that will work for next year. The idea is to give the kids a safe environment on campus so they don't have to go out of campus, and to give more opportunities and more of a variety late night. There's really nothing on campus after we close at 10 o'clock. We'd also like to do some special events up here. Karaoke night, open mic night, gaming night, and there's no opportunity for us to do that when we close at 10 o'clock. Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night we're open till 1:30 in the morning. Iggy's opens up at 5 o'clock every night, Monday, 7 nights a week, and we normally close at 10 with the exception of the late night trial. If Iggy's decides to stay open, or if the college decides they want Iggy's to stay open late night, we will, come September, we'll start at full swing, and we will start doing some special events up here at nighttime, on late nights. Iggy's late night menu is scaled down a little bit from the regular menu, and we don't offer some of the things, but we offer some different varieties. We do popcorn chicken, which is a big hit. You can have that plain barbecue or hot, and you can have a half pound or a pound. Another big thing, that the slabs, we also run the slabs, which is Iggy's version of the pizza. We run the Majus burger, Majus meaning more, it's a big burger. We run a Majus chicken, the burritos, a super burrito, the pizza logs, which is a favorite for the kids. That's also another item on the menu. When we open at 5 to 10, we do run the full menu. On our late night menu, we're running a new salad that's going off very well. We call it a ranchero. It is chopped lettuce, iceberg lettuce, with ranch dressing, bacon, tomatoes, chicken, tossed, served with a fried egg on top, and salsa. The fried egg is a big hit on all campuses. We call it a barnyard. And you can add a fried egg on any sandwich or any burger or anything that you would like. Most of the kids are just coming in from being out all night. They're not looking for a salad, they're looking for a hamburger, chicken sandwich, pizza, burritos, that type of stuff. The popcorn chicken. Those are the items that really sell up here, but I wanted to offer a type of salad on the late night menu. If we still are running this for exam week, you might see us doing an LTO as far as breakfast items because the kids are off studying. You might see French toast sticks up here, scrambled eggs, fried egg, hash browns, that type of thing. We don't know. We're still trying to find out if the college wants us to continue doing this for the rest of the year. We are just taking this week by week, and when the college tells us that they don't want us to do it, then we'll stop doing it. If they want us to continue doing it till the end of the year, we'll continue doing it for the end of the year. For the most part, the students have been very friendly, very nice. We try to do 3 events a year for Iggy's. We shut down Iggy's and we run a buffet for a meal swing. We do the Carnival Fair in September, we do the Super Bowl party, and we do the luau party. So we're looking at doing some real nice things up here in Iggy's.
Thanks, Monica. It's time for a quick commercial break, but stay tuned. When we come back, we will take a look at how Griff Sports has been doing this past week.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back. We now turn things over to Kyle Ferrara and Brandon Rudd in the sports studio for a look at what happened this past week.
Thanks, Rachel. Let's get you guys up on what's happening in sports so far and preview the upcoming schedule for all of your Gordon Griffin teams. Kyle, let's get started with men's lacrosse. What's happening with the team?
Well, they played 2 very close games over the last week, and we'll start with the most recent one. It was an 11-10 loss to Jacksonville at home. That loss dropped them to 2-3 in MAC play, but it wasn't all that important. We'll get to that in a second. They also beat Binghamton last Monday 12-11, a good victory, but it was a non-conference game. So again, it doesn't affect them all that much. What it's going to come down to now is a game on Saturday at Detroit. Both teams are 2-3 in MAC play. The winner will improve to 3-3 and clinch the final spot in the MAC playoffs. This game on Saturday is their most important of the season. Let's take a look at the women's side of things now. Brandon, how are they doing?
Well, with softball, women's lacrosse, we'll get to softball really quickly. As you may know, they're on a 9-game winning streak, and they're going for the 10th straight win against tough opponent, 18th ranked Boston College in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. Sadly, on Sunday, April 21st, they lost the game 10-12. However, we did see 2 players greatly greatly for the Golden Griffins, and they were Maria Cotas, who had 3 goals and an assist, and Tori Quinn, who also made 2 goals and 2 assists. Like the men's side, they too have a season finale at home against Marist on Saturday, April 27th at 11 a.m. After that, it would be the MAC Championships from May 3rd to the 5th in Poughkeepsie, New York. Now let's get off the field and onto the diamond, Kyle. How's baseball doing?
Well, they're on a bit of a roll now. They've won their last 2 series that started last Wednesday against UB at home. They swept that doubleheader. We talked a little bit about it on #GriffSports last week. But the big series win was at Manhattan over the weekend in a 3-game series. They swept the series. They won the first game 9-5, led by freshman infielder Anthony Masici. He scored 2 runs and drove in 2 more, and they also got a dominant pitching effort from Garrett Courtwright, who went 8 innings and struck out 4 Jaspers hitters. They won the next game 4-3. It was a bit closer, and center fielder Ryan Coppinger, who subbed in for the regular starter Mike Krish, led the team in Game 2. They went on to sweep the series. Another good win, 8-5 on Sunday. 3 players scored 2 runs in that game. They were Anthony Masici, Jimmy Lupins, and Ronnie Bernick. This series win was the biggest because they were only 4-5 in MAC play. They've now jumped up to 7-5. And despite having the best overall record in the conference, they were towards the bottom because of that sub-500 record.
Right.
Now let's talk about softball a little bit, Brandon.
Well, finally onto softball, as you mentioned, Kyle. Since our last broadcast, the softball team has faced off against 3 teams in doubleheaders, all games which, by the way, were at Dembski. Starting off in the doubleheader against fierce rival Niagara on Thursday, April 18th, they lost the opening contest 1-0. Pitcher Amanda Bond was the only bright spot as she went the distance and struck out 7 batters. They will have their revenge in the next game as they won 2-1. Jen Contal had help as she also went the distance and striking out 6 batters. In the next doubleheader, similar to the Niagara one, the team lost the first game against Manhattan 4-5, then come back to beat them 6-1. This took place on Saturday. Second baseman Robin Kearney had a strong game in the second game as she batted 3 for 4 and scored 1 run and had 4 RBIs. In the next doubleheader, the team finally made strides to finally take both games away from St. Peter's on Sunday. The 2 scores were 6-1 in the first game and 5-2 in the second. The pitching was excellent throughout the series as Amanda Bond had a big day on the mound in the first game as she only landed 1 run and had 9 strikeouts. Before our next broadcast, the softball team will mostly be on the road as they face Buffalo at home and away on the 23rd and 24th. The doubleheaders against Iona and New Rochelle in New York on Saturday, April 27th at 2 p.m. and 12 p.m. and Fairfield, Connecticut on Sunday, April 28th at 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Now, since we got that done, let's hop into other sports, Kyle.
We'll talk about rowing first. They were in the 2nd annual Black Rock Cup on April 20th. They finished in first out of 3 teams. They beat Robert Morris and Juville, and they will be in the MAC Championships this weekend, the 26th to the 27th in West Windsor, New Jersey. Moving on to golf, the team played in the Wolfpack Spring Open in Raleigh, North Carolina on April 20th and the 21st last weekend. They finished 13th overall at the bottom. They will be in the MAC Golf Championship in Orlando, Florida from the 26th through the 28th.
Well, that's all we have for you for today. Be sure to check out the sports show, #GriffSports on Twitter at GriffSports_19 to get more coverage on your favorite Golden Griffin teams. This has been Brandon Rudd and Kyle Ferrara. Back to you, Rachel.
Thanks, Brandon and Kyle. It's time to take a look at some upcoming events that are happening here on campus. Are you running out of cash at the end of the semester? Come play bingo for great prizes and enjoy some free nachos. This event will be held on Thursday, April 25th at 11:30 a.m. in the Commuter Lounge. Don't miss out. With the semester coming to a close, we are seeing more and more stressed out faces around campus. Take a break and put yourself in shape by attending the last Zumba class next week with our very own Sean Lamb. As always, it will be held in the Patrick Lee Center of the CAC on Monday at 8:30 p.m. Show your love for the Canisius LGBT community by stopping by the Student Center lobby tomorrow, Wednesday, April 24th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for a gay Fine By Me t-shirt for only $1. That's all we have for you today. Make sure you check us out on Facebook and YouTube. We air a new show on Channel 19 every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Check us out next week for a very special last episode of the 2012-2013 season. From all of us here at Channel 19 News, have a great week, Canisius.